Section 1. A binary choice. Code or contribute. Look, I get it. Silicon Valley, with its ping-pong tables and kombucha on tap, seems like the promised land. I spent a good chunk of time there myself, coding away at Amazon, pulling in a salary that made my bank manager do a double take. Computer science was my jam, and the tech world felt like the natural progression. But then, a funny thing happened on the way to stock options and a Tesla in the driveway. I started thinking long-term, like really long-term. And that's when the allure of a government job, with its stability and societal impact, began to outweigh the glitz and glam of the tech industry. It was a tough call, a real Sophie's choice, but ultimately, one that came down to values, priorities, and a healthy dose of pragmatism. This isn't about dissing the tech world, not at all. It's about sharing my personal journey, the factors I weighed, and the calculations I made when faced with this binary choice: chase the big bucks, or pursue a career that aligned with my desire for a more stable, impactful life. Turns out, sometimes the code you choose to live by isn't written in Java or Python. Section 2. Crunching the numbers. Salary versus security. All right, let's get down to brass tacks, the kind that make accountants giddy and regular folks reach for a stiff drink. Cold, hard cash. On paper, the IT offer was tempting, like really tempting. Think 6 figures, maybe even 7 with bonuses and stock options. My inner Gordon Gekko was doing the Snoopy dance. But then, I did something radical. I whipped out a spreadsheet. Yep, I went full nerd and started comparing the long-term financial realities of both paths. See, a government salary, while respectable, isn't going to make headlines. But here's the kicker. It's predictable. Like really predictable. Annual increments, dearness allowances, and a sweet pension plan. These things add up. Suddenly, the gap between the flashy IT salary and the steady government income started to narrow, especially when factoring in the long-term benefits that come with a government job. It was like comparing a hare to a tortoise. Sure, the hare is initially faster, but that tortoise? He's in it for the long haul, baby. Section 3. The government goodies, pensions and perks. Now, let's talk about those government goodies, the kind that make private sector folks drool with envy. First up, the holy grail, the pension. Imagine this. A guaranteed income stream for life after you clock out for the last time. No relying on volatile stock markets or praying your 401k doesn't go belly up. It's like a warm, fuzzy blanket of financial security in your golden years. Then there's the whole dearness allowance thing, basically a cost of living adjustment that ensures your purchasing power doesn't erode with inflation. And let's not forget the seemingly endless vacation time. Okay, maybe not endless, but compared to the paltry 2 weeks offered by most private companies, it felt pretty darn close. We're talking weeks, people. Weeks! Enough time to actually recharge, travel, and come back to work feeling like a human being, not a sleep-deprived code monkey. Section 4. The IT grind. High income, higher costs. But hold your horses before you storm the government office demanding an application. Let's talk about the flip side of the tech coin. The grind. Because let me tell you, that high income often comes at a price. We're talking long hours, constant pressure to stay ahead of the curve, and a work-life balance that's about as stable as a unicycle on a tightrope. And then there are the taxes. Oh boy, the taxes. Remember that eye-popping salary? Yeah, Uncle Sam wants his cut, and it's a hefty one. Suddenly, that fancy sports car starts to look a lot less appealing when you realize a good chunk of your paycheck is going towards funding someone else's infrastructure project. And don't even get me started on the peer pressure. In the tech world, it's a constant game of keeping up with the Joneses. Except these Joneses have Teslas, private jets, and beachfront properties you wouldn't believe. It's enough to make even the most zen programmer question their life choices. Section 5. beyond the paycheck: time, family, and peace of mind. But here's the thing that spreadsheets and salary comparisons can't quite capture: peace of mind. See, when you factor in the long hours, the constant pressure to upskill, and the sheer mental toll of the IT grind, that high salary starts to lose its luster. I started craving something more, something beyond the paycheck. I wanted time. Time to spend with loved ones, time to pursue passions, time to just be. And that's where the government job really shined. The predictable hours, the generous leave policy, it meant I could actually have a life outside of work. I could be present for family dinners, school plays, the important stuff that often gets sacrificed at the altar of ambition in the cutthroat world of tech. It was a trade-off, sure, but for me, it was more than worth it. Section 6. The housing headache. Big city, bigger bills. Let's talk housing, shall we? Because if you're considering a high-paying IT job in a tech hub like San Francisco or New York City, be prepared to shell out a small fortune for a shoebox apartment with questionable plumbing. I'm talking rent payments that would make a Wall Street banker wince. Government jobs, on the other hand, are often located in cities with a slightly lower cost of living. Sure, you might not have the latest trendy coffee shop on every corner, but you'll also have enough money left over at the end of the month to actually enjoy a cup of joe without having to remortgage your house. Section 7. Education expenses. Investing in the future. Now, let's talk about the little humans in our lives. The ones who will inherit this crazy world we're shaping. Education, as we all know, is expensive. Like, really expensive. And if you're planning on having kids, those private school tuition fees can make even a six-figure salary feel inadequate. Many government jobs come with perks like subsidized education for children, which can be a game changer for families. Knowing that a significant chunk of your children's education expenses is taken care of can provide immense financial relief, allowing you to focus on other important aspects of their upbringing. Section 8. The healthcare conundrum, public versus private. Healthcare. The perennial hot-button issue that can make even the calmest person break out in a cold sweat. In the United States, it's a jungle out there, a confusing, often overwhelming system that can leave you feeling like you need a PhD just to understand your medical bills. Government jobs often come with comprehensive health insurance plans, providing coverage for you and your family. While the specifics vary depending on the country and agency, these plans often offer peace of mind, knowing that you won't be saddled with crippling medical debt if the unexpected happens. Section 9. Finding fulfillment. Passion over paychecks. Okay, let's get real for a minute. At the end of the day, it's not just about the money, right? It's about finding fulfillment, about waking up in the morning with a sense of purpose, knowing that the work you do matters. For me, that meant contributing to society in a tangible way. It meant being part of something bigger than myself, something that aimed to make a real difference in people's lives. And that's something I found in a government job, a sense of purpose and satisfaction that no amount of stock options or performance bonuses could ever replicate. Section 10. The verdict. My path. Your journey. So, there you have it, my friends. A glimpse into the mind-numbing, spreadsheet-filled journey that led me to choose a government job over a high-paying IT gig. Was it the right decision? For me, absolutely. But here's the thing. This isn't a one-size-fits-all situation. It's about weighing your own priorities, your values, and your definition of success. The key takeaway? Don't let the allure of a big paycheck blind you to the long-term implications. Think beyond the immediate gratification and consider the bigger picture. Work-life balance, family time, mental well-being, and yes, even that elusive thing called happiness. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about how much money you make, but how you choose to live your life. And that, my friends, is a choice worth pondering.